There are reports that the three persons were injured and several abandoned houses, two buses were burned by armed miscreants in three separate incidents in violence hit Manipur. A juvenile has been arrested in Kangpokpi for burning the vehicles and all. The violence continues. Not as intense as it was on those two specific dates, but the violence continues. Do you see an end to this violence, or do you see the situation further exacerbating till a tough decision is taken?
Thank you for the question. And thank you also for having me today again. See, looking at the violence, the sporadic violence that has erupted again in Kangpokpi district and also in Moreh yesterday, we see how in Kangpokpi, I got to learn that the security forces were using private vehicles that belongs to, Amete terrorist PLA. And that is the reason why after the army or otherwise the security forces were dropped at their designated camps or otherwise place, and while the bus was returning with the convoy, the masses or the civilians, the Kuki civilians in Kangpokpi district intervened and set ablaze the bus because they believe that that bus allegedly belongs to Meitei terrorists belonging to the PLA group. And about the violence in Moreh, I also got to learn from the ground report that on the fateful day, when a few women and youth in the local youth and women went to buy groceries in the market, they were, beaten black and blue, unprovoked. And in the process, a woman broke her arm, left arm to be precise. And that actually provoked the local community, and they came in big numbers and they started burning the remaining houses that were left unburned during the previous arson that took place in the month of May. And there is also another hotel which is a famous hotel in Moreh, which is Elora Hotel. Since the onset of the violence and prior to that, many people believed, the local people believed, that this hotel is a big hotel, and they allege that this hotel authorities or otherwise, this hotel is responsible in sheltering Meitei militants, those especially from Myanmar border side, and that's how they were looking at a chance or otherwise a privilege to make sure that this hotel is razed to the ground. And it seems that yesterday, or otherwise on the fateful day, I think it was Sunday, yesterday, yeah, that they got the opportunity to do that. And for the cookies and the local people there in Moreh, they think that it is the revenge or otherwise appropriate action that needs to be taken, because the state government is complicit to the terrorists being sheltered in that hotel. So that's the reason why hotel or otherwise the arson took place in Moreh and in Kangpokpi district. So as you said, violence is here to stay. Meaning, if you look at the statement given by the Chief Minister himself yesterday, I mean, listening to him makes me upset or otherwise angry. The fact that he seemed to propagate or otherwise profess that he's up to bringing peace and normalcy in the state. You continue to see him anytime he comes to the media and say something, it gives ample chance to provoke the other community again, which one of our previous panelists, Suhas Chakma ji, has also rightly stated. And if you look at the comments that he made against the Chief Minister of Mizoram, I feel very, very, very upset. In fact, Chief Minister Brijesh should learn from Zoramthanga the kind of simplicity, the kind of humility, the kind of leadership that he exerted to his own community and people. I mean, this is exemplary, and in fact, Chief Minister N. Brijesh should learn from Zoramthanga instead of pinpointing or otherwise pointing finger at him. And secondly, if we look at how the Chief Minister of Mizoram, the Chief Minister of Manipur rightly, touted or otherwise alleged that, the Chief Minister of Mizoram should not interfere in internal matters of Manipur. If we look at how, despite the civil society there in Mizoram have warned against the Meitei sheltering in Mizoram against their safety, you see how Chief Minister Zoramthanga has intervened and made sure that all these people are moved to safety. You see the other, if you look at the other side in Manipur in the month of May, the Chief Minister did not intervene. He was complicit to the sufferings of the civilians in the state. And many people had to rely on the security forces, the paramilitary forces, to take them to safety to airport. And now you see the Chief Minister intervention otherwise in Mizoram and how the Meitei people are evacuated safely. So if you are saying that you do not intervene directly in the internal affairs of Manipur, then Zoramthanga ji should not also interfere or otherwise, give any regard for the safety of the Meiteis in Mizoram. But it is not that way. So Chief Minister of Manipur, if you look at his counterparts elsewhere in the state of, in all the northeast states, he seemed to be, distinct in terms of, failure, distinct in terms of his leadership anomalies and what many points that you can point out. So in this context, if you look at, I don't see any abatement of violence in the state. And as long as Chief Minister Biren Singh stays in power, there is no roadmap to peace.
Okay, General Siwach, there's this report of 718 Myanmar illegals entering the state of Manipur, and it had on July 22nd and 23rd, and with this 718 Myanmar nationals includes 301 children. And the Home Minister has asked them to deport. How big a security threat you feel these illegal immigrants are as far as the state of Manipur is concerned? And do you see just a subtext, part B of the question, sir, is that do you see now the conflict of which is happening inside Manipur spilling over to other northeastern states? As we have seen already voices from Meghalaya, we have seen already voices from Mizoram. Now we're seeing some sort of turbulence in the state of Assam, sir.
Absolutely. See, no doubt, 2-3 issues which you have brought it out and which my co-panelists have also brought it out. One thing is very clear, the situation in Manipur is still volatile. And the gap and distrust and mistrust between two communities is increasing rather than decreasing. And the situation on ground had not able to be controlled. In the sense, the only solution today is to first ensure these weapons which are there, almost about 8 to 10,000, which 5,000 were looted and another 4 to 5,000 has come from Myanmar. Until they are not recovered back, the violence in the society will remain. So this is a very important thing, and that to happen, what you need is that the Indian Army, which is on a aid to civil authority role, has to come in a counter-insurgency mode, and for that a unified command has to be made under an army commander and who function under a political dispensation. That why I don't find reason as to why we are delaying, because it looks as if two communities are at war with each other within our own state. So therefore, the point is that first and foremost is that let's a unified command should work. We have already got a format, how we were successful in Assam and Jammu and Kashmir, and how things can be brought back. And they can only brought back once these weapons are taken off. And these weapons are not coming off its own. And therefore, there is a requirement of carrying out a combing operation, cordon and search operation, and army to take over, because the only institution which will be respected by all and everyone in Manipur is the army, because they are impartial, unbiased, and they are very objective. Now, as far as Myanmar is concerned, the footprints are known from the beginning. See, the footprints of China is already known. China wants to create a problem, and if they want a sort of disturbance to take place in the northeast ocean before G20 meeting, and this we have given them in the plate. And now what's happening, that the people coming from Myanmar, first of all, one must understand these weapons have fallen down in the hands of the insurgent or the anti-social element on the both sides. And these militant organizations, extremist organizations, whether these are Mathis, PLA or Cookies, they are now armed. And that is why the violence is increasing rather than decreasing. So these have to come out and we have to get them out. Now, as far as the people coming from Myanmar, you see, one knows very clearly the Chin population has come and migrated and come into the hills with the cookie, and they were doing poppy cultivation. They have also taken the reserve forest area. But having said so, now again, a lot of people coming or a lot of influx of migrants from Myanmar is a cause of a concern to make sure that, no more migrants come. You have to seal the border. And therefore, the requirement is that's 500 kilometers, almost 500 kilometers between Myanmar and Manipur has to be sealed. It is difficult, but it has to be done because until unless you don't do it, you find the influx of militants going on the both sides. Now, third thing is that what is happened is that both sides are making women as a human shield and they are on the forefront. And that's why the situation becomes much more fluid. How do we control it? So therefore, there is a requirement of immediately the rule of the law has to come. You have to be firm with those who are taking violence in hand, irrespective which community they are. You have to bring out the law. Today, the people are not afraid of security forces. They feel that they will be only protected by their own people who are guarding that. And that has created a sort of insafety in the mind of everyone. Now, as far as what you are saying is that is there any danger of this now spreading to other neighboring states? Of course. See, I have a tremendous experience of serving in Mizoram, in Lushai Hills, in Doungel and Longtrai in 78, 79. That is the time when the talks started taking place between Mizo National Front, that is Lal Dinga, and the government of India and Brigadier Pyak Chunga, who are the MNA commander. And then successfully a pact was signed in 86. So the question is that the people who have gone now there, especially the Kukis, they are also the same religion. But the Metis are Hindus, and Mizoram, the problem is that they are no Metis also there. Who will give them protection? If this violence spread there, then the ethnic community violence will also spread in Mizoram. It can also spread in Nagaland. This is the biggest fear because today Mizoram is the most peaceful state in Northeast, almost a very peaceful any part of the country because your 86 pact which was signed has succeeded. But if in case the situation remain volatile in Manipur, it will have ramification on Mizoram, especially there is ethnic affinity, especially between Kukis and also the Mizos in Lushai Hill. So that point has to be understood. So far, Nagaland, Nagas have distanced themselves in the fight of Kukis and Metis, but it can also happen they also get involved. So the danger is very large. So in case we are not able to control violence, we don't able to bring peace, this violence spreading in other parts of the state of Northeast is very high. And that should be a cause of concern. We now need to pull our sock and ensure that law and order prevail in Manipur. Situation at time is trying to come in normal. Again, it goes bad because the foothill, whether it is Churachandpur, Vishnupur, More, where the population is mixed, there the danger of each other, again, using violence are very high. In the hills, of course, it is only Kukis, and in the plains, it is Metis. But what happened where there is a mixed population, the threat and the fear. So another issue which is coming is that the people have started using violence against security forces also. It means that, one thing is that they may be feeling that the security forces may be taking side of someone. Whereas the security forces are very neutral, they are unbiased, they really want to bring peace and order. And that can only happen once a complete control is given as a part of unified command. I will like to tell my viewers also that in 19 police stations or almost majority of the valley floor in Imphal, the Armed Forces Special Park has been taken out. And therefore, it becomes very, very difficult for these columns to move. They cannot move without the help of the magistrate. And that is why this counter-insurgency operation, cordon and search operation are taking time and they are not that successful as we want. because till the weapons are not taken out of the society remains charged, and these weapons have fallen down in the hands of insurgents on both sides and also anti-social elements. So this seemingly looks to be two communities at war, and that is a cause of danger. And these spreading to the neighboring state is very high. The sooner the better. We should now act strongly, because there is a requirement to act strongly, because otherwise you find that we are playing with the fire. It has to happen. There are, defense forces which want the peace to come, but they have to be empowered. That's
Okay.